A woman is horrified to find her husband walking out of a pub with a schoolgirl. Their intimate behavior goes beyond a teacher-student relationship. To get back at her husband, she took 2 kilos of blood. Then she dumped some of it on the cupboard, splashed the rest on the floor and smoothed it out with her hands. Then she simulated a drag mark on the floor. Finally, she cleaned up the blood on the floor with paper towels. At this point, she dabbed the blood on a wooden stick and burned it in the fireplace. Then she overturned the couch and smashed the coffee table in the living room. While Jack was at the bar, he got a call from a neighbor. When he came home, he found the door open. He immediately went to the living room to check it out, but he found the glass coffee table in the living room completely shattered. The police arrived. Jack said he and his wife had just moved here 2 years ago, and he owns a bar with his sister. He suspected his wife had been kidnapped, but everything in the house was clean and tidy. The only thing suspicious was the blood on the cupboards. Jack was then taken to the police station. His fingerprints and saliva were collected. At this point, the female officer asked for basic information about Anna, but Jack was very nervous. He didn't even know his wife's blood type. This aroused the policewoman's suspicion. As the police had to investigate the house, Jack went to stay at his sister's house for a few days. The next day, forensics made a discovery at the scene. The blood on the cupboards was splattered, and it was a little too high. Then the police found out the house and all the property of the two were in Anna's name. Anna also paid for their daily expenses. The pub that Jack and his sister ran was also funded by Anna. The policewoman found a letter marked with a clue in Anna's personal effects. The next day, Jack held a press conference with his in-laws. They hoped to use the media to find out more, but Jack seemed distracted the whole time, and he laughed during the conference. Then the policewoman approached Jack again. She showed him the letter she found yesterday, but Jack said it was a scavenger hunt that he and Anna used to play, and the policewoman thought it was a clue that Anna might have left behind. Following the letter's prompting, Jack arrived at his office, where he found a second envelope marked with a clue. The letter asks Jack to find a brown cabin, but then the policewoman found underwear. Jack was very nervous when he saw it. He hastily changed the subject by saying he didn't know where the brown cabin was. But at night, Jack sneaks into a deserted house. He found a third clue on a table. Just as Jack was about to check it out, the policewoman suddenly walked in. He hurriedly hid the envelope in his pocket. Obviously, he was trying to hide the clue. He said it was his father's old house and that he checked it every week. When they came out of the house, the lady officer asked if it was the brown cabin mentioned in the letter, but Jack denied it, saying it was a blue house. Although the policewoman had her suspicions about Jack, there was no real evidence. They could only watch as Jack drove away. When Jack was curious enough to open the envelope, he discovered that his wife was trying to punish him and had hidden their 5th anniversary present. It brought back memories for Jack. They met at a party and soon fell in love. After marriage, they were a model couple. Anna was a famous writer, and Jack was a teacher, but the economy was bad. He lost his job soon after the wedding. Since then, Jack played video games at home every day, and often bought expensive gaming equipment. Anna just reminded her that it's not easy to make money, but Jack thought his wife didn't respect him. After that, he didn't make any anniversary gifts. The thought of it sent a chill down Jack's spine. He suspected that his wife was mocking him. The next day, with the help of a group of volunteers, they conducted a carpet search of the town, but Anna had vanished without a trace. When he got home at night, Jack found the TV was full of suspicions about him. His sister couldn't understand why Jack laughed at the press conference. She immediately suspected that Jack had a new lover. Just after his sister went back to her room, he received a message. The person he was talking to was the schoolgirl he was having an affair with, but at that moment, he was not in the mood, so he sent the girl away perfunctorily. But the sister saw it. She shouted at Jack. At this critical moment, any scandal could be detrimental to Jack, and now the press is beginning to suspect him. It is suspected that Anna has been killed, and Jack is the prime suspect. Meanwhile, forensics made a big discovery. After running fluorescent tests at the scene, they found a large amount of cleaned blood on the floor, and after comparing the blood type, it was confirmed to be a match for Anna. On the other hand, to thank the town's volunteers, Jack gave another thank you speech. He said that he and his wife were very much in love with each other, and that it wasn't what was rumored on the internet, and he fooled all the citizens with his true feelings. But at that moment, the female neighbor suddenly came out of the crowd. She called him an animal. She told him that Anna was pregnant before she disappeared. The sudden news pushed Jack into the limelight again. Even his parents-in-law suspected him of murder. In the midst of all the accusations, Jack had no choice but to run away. Luckily, the police escorted him back to his home. When questioned by the policewoman, Jack said he didn't know his wife was pregnant, and that he didn't think she and the neighbor were close friends. But the next few photos were a revelation. Jack would have never dreamed that his wife would be best friends with a shrew. Then the policewoman said they had checked at the hospital, that Anna was already pregnant. Based on their investigation of the scene, and the forensic pathologist's findings, he seriously suspected Jack had something to do with it. She then produced Jack's recent spending records. It shows that he often bought a lot of luxury goods, and credit card debt of over $100,000. But Jack denied it. He was sure he hadn't bought them himself. But the policewoman didn't believe him anymore, because he had taken out a large accident insurance policy for his wife. All this makes the police suspect that he has a motive to kill. Without a body, They had no authority to arrest Jack. When the police left, he remembered the third clue he hadn't solved. After disassembling the clues word by word, Jack also seemed to think of something. He rushed to the backyard warehouse, but when he opened the wooden door, he was dumbfounded. It was full of toys he'd maxed out his credit cards on. Jack realized that if the police found out about them, he would never be able to prove his innocence. Meanwhile, the police arrived at Jack's father's house. After a careful search, she found an unburned diary in the fireplace. In it, she recorded everything about Anna's life over the years, and she suspected that her husband was thinking of killing her. And Jack found his wife's 5th anniversary present in the storage room. Inside was a doll holding a baby, and a doll holding a stick. He instantly understood what she was trying to say. Jack decided he wasn't going to sit around and wait. Then he found a lawyer friend to help him, and when Jack told him what he'd been through, the lawyer was impressed with Anna's ingenuity. Now, to turn the tide, they had to change the public perception of Anna. Then he gave Jack the confidence of a man. Soon Jack was following a trail that led him to the man the lawyer was talking about. It turned out that this man had been in a relationship with Anna, and both parents agreed. Just as they were preparing for their wedding, Anna took the initiative to meet the man, and asked him to tie Anna's hands and feet. But the next morning the police were there. A night of madness and bruises on her wrists. She was accused by Anna of rape. The man went to prison for 10 years, and all of this was planned by Anna herself. Until then, Jack had never realized how horrible his wife could be. Then the man took out a photograph, and the man in the photo was Anna's first love. Maybe he could tell us more about her. Jack immediately went to the man in the photo. He wanted to get evidence in his favor, but Carl refused Jack's request because he didn't want to hurt his first love. When he returned home, the police came with a search warrant. They discovered the secrets of the warehouse based on Anna's diary. Faced with the hard facts, Jack didn't know how to explain. Then he was arrested for murder. Luckily, his lawyer bailed him out. But the day after he returned home, Anna came home covered in blood. Jack was horrified, and it was all Anna's plan. When she discovered her husband's betrayal, Anna planned the perfect murder to make her husband pay. To this end, Anna began frequenting the neighborhood. She revealed her husband's violent temper, both intentionally and unintentionally. Then he went on a spending spree in Jack's name, creating a financial crisis. And then, while Jack was preoccupied with a game, he signed him up for a high-dollar accident insurance policy. In order to disguise herself as a vulnerable person, she stole her neighbor's urine after she went to the toilet. She faked a pregnancy. Finally, she waited until her wedding anniversary. When her husband left the house, she faked the crime scene. She planted it all on Jack's head. She spent her free time recording her life in journals. Then she forged thousands of diary entries to portray Jack as a violent man. She made the police believe that Jack was trying to destroy evidence. Finally, she left a clue in the cabin and drove out of the city. So as not to be recognized, she cut her hair short and dyed it a new color. In Anna's plan, she'll end up faking her own suicide to frame her husband. But when she saw on the internet that Jack was still laughing, Anna changed her plan. She wanted her husband to fall in love with her again. But that day, an accident happened. The bad guys took all her money. In order to complete her plan, Anna put her hope on her first love. After seeing Anna's aggrieved face, Carl decided to help her. Then he took Anna to a private house. Inside, the decor is unimaginably lavish. All the rooms are equipped with surveillance cameras. But Anna didn't know that she was using someone else. She was also being used by them. Carl's possessiveness never diminished. He wanted Anna as much as he did then. Anna realized that she had fallen into Carl's trap, but Carl underestimated Anna's tactics. The next day after breakfast, Anna kissed Carl on purpose and bit Carl's lip. She said that's what young people do. But Carl didn't know that his behavior had been recorded by the cameras. When she watched him leave, Anna tied a rope around her ankles. Then she wet her clothes with red wine. Then she went to the camera and made herself look like she was begging for help. She disguised herself as having a miscarriage. Then she changed into clean clothes. She used a rope to make strangulation marks on her wrists. Then she took out the red wine and pretended to have been raped. When Carl returned at night, Anna lured him to her room. She ended Carl's life with a knife. Eventually, she returned to Jack. A doctor determined that Anna had been raped. Anna blamed Carl for everything, and with the surveillance video the police found at the villa, Anna was exonerated. Jack didn't believe his wife's story, but in front of hundreds of reporters, he had no choice but to remain a good husband. If Jack chose to abandon his wife, he would have been rejected by everyone.